this Apocalypse, I'm interviewing the Magi, and he talks about the planetary alignments.
Peace and blessings to everybody that's out there that's listening. Now, the reason why, we want to discuss, the planetary alignments is because, me, I had a fascination as far as, with these planets as far as, growing up, as a child. And this is how most, individuals are, they're fascinating. And, today, it being, the 2nd of May, it being 243 days left as far as, in the year. Now, the second planet, which, is known as Venus,
right,
for one day, there's 24 hours as far as, here on Earth to equal one day. Well, on that second planet, it takes 243 Earth days for it to be one day. And it's a slow process.
Right.
And, I'm gonna tie that into, because earlier today there was a brief, thunder and lightning storm. And on that planet, as far as, in the upper atmosphere, they say that there's serious as far as, lightning strikes. And that's, of course, it's a cloudy planet. And actually, that's it, that it's right up there as far as, because it's real bright. And the reason why I say, 243, Earth days is one day, that planet, it takes 225 days, to rotate, around the sun. So, next year, in 225 days, when you come back, it'll be, right at that point. And see, our original, our great ancestors, they were in tune, with these planets.
Right.
Now, but the names, like Mercury, 36 million miles away from the sun. Venus, 67,200,000 miles away from the sun. These weren't the names that they used. They were, of course, they spoke other different languages. So, one of the things, just working, with this brother and understanding, if we want to have something new as far as, for our children, then, I know, like me and him and a few others, and as we progress, see, eventually these names are going to end up being changed to how we should, teach it to our children.
Right.
And, for instance, let's say, for instance, in the Swahili language, their name as far as for a planet is Sayara or Sayari. But I'm pretty sure it's pronounced Sayara. And, just that kind of understanding. And, for instance, and plus Venus, is a planet, it's a retrograde motion.
Right.
And it's going to be, there's some serious, science, as far as, behind that. Because, see, I'm starting to understand that a lot of the simple, basic, understandings that a lot of our ancestors had, a lot of it, there's a lot of science and truth to it.
Right.
But the reason why, it's not taught is because, one, that Willie Lynch syndrome, because they wanted us to bow down, to their image, and to their God, and, and to their likeness. And, of course, we shouldn't, worship, astrology and astronomy, and the planets and different astronomical alignments, but there's science behind it. Because 7 years ago, during this time, there was another astronomical alignment that I spoke about in a previous other lecture, and 7 is a very significant number.
Right.
All those who deal with knowledge of self or right knowledge and supreme wisdom, you could just line them all up here right now, and they'll go off and break down the number 7. But as far as what's going on, is just like up in New York, there's a group of believers up there. Their number is number 7, and so what it's all coming down to, it's coming to to what has been prophesied as far as, in Scripture, as far as whatever your understanding is of the end. Because with every end, there is a beginning.
Right.
And anytime, something begins, it has to have it in it. Unless, of course, it's been ordained, through the will, of the Creator. So right now, us as, people, look what we have gone through, as a people. It's 2009. You can say us as black people, however you want to define us. But look what all of our ancestors have done. Look at something like on this shirt. And, what we've come through as far as, as ancestors. And where we at right now as of 2009. And who exactly, is, your enemy. And I'll be honest with you. If anybody, I would question anybody who would step to the camera and say that the number one enemy isn't your own self. Most people out there, you're the number one enemy, without a doubt, hands down, is your own self.
That's right.
Because your own self is the one, you're not analyzing exactly, really, what you're doing. I can't blame, as far as, for my shortcomings, in life, I have to look at, myself.
Right.
Now other people, there are definitely people, that are responsible, but, we have to start looking, at ourselves and seeing these planets, these stars, that's why a lot of people, you gotta get out the city sometimes. You gotta get in tune, as far as, with the country. And, so you get more in tune as far as, with our Asian ancestors, what they call Tion. Because, see, they have some serious, mathematics as far as, with, our brothers and sisters, that are over there as far as, in the East. But they don't really want you to, concentrate on them. They want us to think about, Aristotle and Edmund Halley and, Copernicus and all these. But see, the majority of all these people, it's stolen, mathematics.
And they don't want let you think about Tesla either.
Exactly. So, anything that's contrary to what's, been taught, with the elementary wise, as far as, in school, they don't want you even thinking about it.
And we know mathematics is real because when Benjamin Banneker, wasn't he a brother?
Oh, yeah.
Who helped build DC, like Egyptian architect and architect of the supreme mathematics of masonry and everything that laid down the whole 1553 monument type style all up in DC.
Oh yeah. And see, and that's one of the things what we need to start really understanding and breaking down, because one thing I'm starting to understand and break down, man, and it's a shame, is that a lot of these Caucasians, I can't take away from some of them, I'm telling you, a lot of these Caucasians, they just are the namesake, but they're not really, the person, behind it. They didn't start it. It's just like,
got the title.
Exactly. It's just like, YouTube now is owned, by Google. But see, Google, bought the rights to YouTube, but they still use, that name. It's just like as far as, BET. BET, is owned, by Viacom. But, but they're not the original people, behind it. It's the same thing, with a lot of these sciences, a lot of these technologies, and that's why, people question, what goes on as far as, in this world. And that's why, people get so defensive, when righteous people step up and attack, the leadership, of this world. So, just letting everybody know, 25th of May, Memorial Day, there's going to be another planetary alignment. That's the second one.
Yeah, we should be ready for that. Everybody should have their telescopes.
Exactly. It's good advice.
And add videos to this and respond to this, and we all need to get ready for these alignments.
Exactly.
2012 coming in. Peace.